What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Charter Podcast, brought to you by St. Xavier University. Ruthie, Polinsky, 𝗂𝗏𝗏. We are on to week 8.
Dang, already.
We are on to week 8. For whatever reason, Clay, today I am a little snoozy.
I know, but we got a coffee.
Yeah, we got
here,
the coffee,
so we're good.
See, you went lid and holder and what's that thing called to make it not so hot?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what like the actual term is.
I
for
went
it.
open cup, no lid, no holder. So just want our listeners to know.
You're tougher than me.
Does that say more about Ruthie or more about Clay?
I think it says more about me.
I'm a little bit bougie sometimes. I like my coffee to be a certain temperature, so it's got to be really hot.
Yeah.
And I need a holder.
It's actually probably smarter for me to do that because it does take me a long time to drink my coffee. Like I can't really chug it. Anyways, this is a Bears podcast, but we're caffeinated on this Thursday.
We're caffeinated and ready to go, and I think we got some good stuff to talk about.
Clay, the Bears are 4-2. The Bears are 4-2.
The Bears are 4-2,
and they are a Lamar Jackson away from being 5-2.
Exactly.
So not necessarily. I don't want to overreact, but that's kind of where our head is right now. Is that, you know, Bears Nation is on Lamar watch, who practiced in a limited capacity on both Wednesday and Thursday. We're taping this on Thursday afternoon, and I think there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on here. I think the Raiders want to keep it close, whether or not he's playing. And I think it could probably come down to Lamar being a game time decision.
And it makes sense because the Baltimore Ravens have lost 11 of the last 13 games Lamar Jackson hasn't played in. The fall off between Cooper Rush or Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson is obviously very substantial. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the National Football League.
Whoa.
So I think he should have won the MVP last year. He won the MVP the year before. If you put the numbers side by side with him and Josh Allen, it wasn't even close. He had Josh Allen on everything. But the other thing is here, you look at Baltimore, John Harbaugh is 14-3 in games following his bye week. So he's been very good in games after his bye week. But obviously, if you don't have Lamar Jackson, that changes things. So I think for the Bears, you obviously got to prepare as if you are playing Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. And then obviously if you get Cooper Rush or Tyler Huntley, it's just one of these welcome surprises. And you got to have some sets, some things that you're carrying that can transfer over to those guys as well.
Bears defense, obviously, we're sort of already on to Baltimore and without having recapped the Saints game.
Yeah.
But this Bears defense, man, 4 takeaways, stopped the run, pretty much played as well as they could or as well as they have all season long. And now they could potentially be a little bit shorthanded in the secondary with Tyreek Stevenson not participating in practice on Wednesday or Thursday. He left the game with a shoulder injury. That is alarming to me, whether Lamar Jackson is out there or not, just because of how thin they are at that position, Clay.
Absolutely. I think Tyreek Stevenson has been really one of the cool stories for the Bears this year. Since Jalen Johnson's went down, he's just been absolute nails. He's given up under a 40% completion percentage when targeted. He's playing like a real number one cornerback. And you hate for a guy on that trajectory. He's just trending up to have to miss any time with an injury. And just to go back, obviously, briefly about the Saints, what a performance by this Bears defense. Obviously, this wasn't a high-powered offense, but 4 sacks, 6 forced incompletions, 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery. And I even think you got another turnover there because they had a turnover on downs. And that's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, that's 5 turnovers. And I want to shout out to the 2 linebackers defensively. Obviously, Montez Sweat had a good game, but I thought TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmunds both had excellent games, just fitting in the gaps in the run game, not letting Kamara get started, but also in the underneath pass game with Spencer Rattler. He was really good about dinking and dunking, and they took away a lot of the underneath stuff. And on the year, you start looking at Tremaine Edmunds through 6 games, 61 tackles, 3 interceptions, a sack, 4 pass deflections. This guy's had one of those bounce back years, and now he's showing you why he was a guy that did have a lot of talent. I think this move to Will is really good for him.
Explain why you think this has been such a good move for him? Does it have to do with a lot of those responsibilities sort of being off of his shoulders so that he can play free and just worry about his job and not worry about everyone else? What are the things that go into playing Mike or middle linebacker that Tremaine Edmunds is, no longer having to worry about?
So when you're playing Mike, you're basically the green dot guy, like you're the quarterback of the defense. So Dennis Allen will send the call into you. Then you have to relay the call to everybody, and they get set up. And then now you're worrying about yourself after you get your team set up. So now Tremaine doesn't have to worry about that. As a Will, also weak side linebacker, you are going to be in more pass coverage situations. You're going to be able to use your athleticism more. You're going to be guarding more people, but you still also get to do a run fit here and there. It's not like you're completely out of the box. You're still in the box, but you're going to have more difficult coverage opportunities. And I think that with TJ Edwards, who's one of the most instinctive, quick linebackers in the NFL, that's his superpower, right? Tremaine's superpower is his athletic ability, his ability to run, his length, and he can really use that at will linebacker. Mike linebacker, that quickness, how smart TJ is, really comes into play, getting everybody set up, and then being able to still make the plays themselves. He's really good at taking on blockers and just being crafty. Like TJ's not the strongest, the fastest, the most athletic, but he is just a crafty dude. He gets under blocks. He gets over blocks. He'll take on a block with physicality, but I mean, he just always finds a way to get in his gap and make sure that he is doing his responsibility. So it's working out great for both of these guys.
Yeah, it's very cool to see. So that's going to be huge, whether Lamar Jackson is playing or not, right? For this Bears defense to affect the quarterback, whoever it may be. What is sort of, in your mind, the biggest variable when it comes to what do you want to see from this Bear? Obviously, you have to stop the run. You have Derrick Henry, potentially Lamar Jackson. You got to stop the run. You got to contain the quarterback. But do you want to see takeaways again? Do you want to see stopping the, how do you prioritize the defensive sort of key to winning this game?
I want to see them stop the run again. They've obviously done a good job in 2 weeks. Even if Lamar doesn't play, now you got Derrick Henry coming in. This guy's 6'3", 252 pounds. He's still averaging 5 yards a carry. Last week he had 122 rushing yards, and somehow they only had 3 points. But once this guy gets going, he's hard to stop. He's like that dude from X-Men that just, what's his name, Edgar?
Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut.
Once he gets, that's not my language.
Yeah, once he gets started, you can't stop him. You got to hit this guy low. You got to take out his legs. If you try to tackle him high, he's going to stiff arm you to the ground.
Yeah.
And that's something we've seen happen before.
Yeah.
So I want to see you stop Derrick Henry. I know he's had a couple of down weeks. Last week he bounced back, but he is still one of the top running backs in the league. And he's not Alvin Kamara last week. Kamara's a different type player, nice finesse guy. Now you got a physical guy that loves the contact, that they want to run the ball down your throat.
It's a big boy.
So I want to see them stop the run, regardless of if Lamar's playing or if it's Cooper Rush or Tyler Huntley.
The good news, Grady Jarrett was a full participant on Thursday. So that's good news.
Oh, it's very good news.
How will that affect stopping the run?
Honestly, I think it'll affect it, but the film I watched on Andrew Billings, he is doing an unbelievable job, man. I don't even like watching the interior line that much. I was a tight end. Let me watch some edge rushers, some tackles. I will watch some guards, but watching the interior line, he is just leveraging. He's using his hands. He's taking up. He's eating up blockers. That's why we're seeing Tremaine and TJ run around so much. I'm like, dang, Big Bill is playing physical with leverage. And that holding call, by the way, I think was BS. You guys know what that stands for.
There were a few calls.
Yes. So I think Big Bill has been playing some ball. Even Gervon Dexter has been doing a good job of taking up some blockers. But you get a veteran back like Grady Jarrett, I think that's only going to help you, especially if he's 100%. Because I don't think we've seen that really yet this year.
And you can keep Big Bill fresh.
Yeah.
It's just somebody to rotate in and out maybe. Okay, great stuff there. Let's talk about this Bears offense going up against this Ravens defense. Roquan Smith coming back, we know he is looking for blood, right? He knows what this game means to him. Caleb Williams didn't play well against the Saints. He was arguably the Bears' weakest link when it came to their win over the Saints. What do you want to see from Caleb Williams when it comes to attacking this Ravens defense?
This Ravens defense is not good, okay? I want to, first and foremost...
Which is crazy to say,
because
right?
the Ravens usually have a good defense.
Yeah, like that's not their brand.
But this Ravens defense is just not what we've been used to seeing, and I think there's going to be a lot of holes there. There are a lot of holes there, and I think the Bears can take advantage of some of those. I think you want to see him be more efficient. Just efficiency. The last 3 weeks, he hasn't had a passer completion percentage over 60. Not 70, 60. Last 3 weeks. That's not good. And then, you definitely know there are some holes in the run game, so I think you want to get the run game going. You want to keep that part of the offense going, but also I think you want to get Rome back involved. You want to get your tight ends involved. You want to do some things to keep the chains moving, and you just want to see him more comfortable in the pocket, quicker decisions.
On the run.
Accuracy on the runs. Run the football.
Run the ball.
Run the ball.
We're going to talk about that today on the Big Pro Football Show.
Yeah, and I got something for you for that. I was
Okay.
just doing some research. I thought this was interesting. Caleb is 17th in the NFL for rushing for a quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to name you the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th best rushing quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay.
And tell me if you see some sort of correlation.
Okay.
Number 2, Josh Allen. Okay? Yeah. That's
Obviously.
one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Decent. 4, Jaden Daniels. He's
Obviously,
a solid
right.
player. 5, Drake May.
Yep.
Having an excellent year. 6,
Baby Josh Allen. Some are
Justin
calling him.
Herbert. Number 6, Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Yeah, Madeline Beer's boyfriend. This guy's keeping drives going
You jealous?
a little bit. And number 7, Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champion last year.
Yep.
Using your legs as a quarterback, being able to use your legs as a quarterback. There's
Yeah.
some quarterbacks that would kill to have Caleb's ability to do that.
Right.
He's not using it.
Right.
You got to utilize that. You see these guys. Number 1, I didn't mention because
Yeah, I was wondering.
it's Justin Fields. So, that's a little bit different, right? You're not just going to run the football, but
Right.
2 through 7 show you how much a running quarterback.
And
just
Caleb,
looking at those
Caleb
guys.
ranks 17th, you said?
And Caleb ranks 17th.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I was looking at the numbers from the game starting week 1 to where he is now. It gradually decreased. There was 1 week, maybe it was like a 1 yard difference, but that's surprising because I think that was what we were talking about might be a new element, that Ben Johnson gets to play with because Jared Goff ain't running, know? So like figure out ways to incorporate that. So maybe we'll get to see a little bit of that this weekend.
And as a tight end, I love when a quarterback keeps his eyes downfield. When you keep your eyes downfield and it's not clean and you got 5, 10 in front of you, those are drive extending plays, man. You know how hard it is? We're talking about these explosive 10 yards plays for DeAndre Swift and everything he's been able to do. You can pick those up cheaply. You talk to any defensive coordinator. What they hate more than anything is a quarterback that scrambles.
Yeah.
Because if you're running like a quarterback read or something, there's guys that you can allot to that.
Sure.
Like a scramble, there's no way to stop it if you do it correctly. If there's a hole that opens up, there's like nobody that is responsible specifically for that unless you got like a spy situation, which they probably don't on Caleb Williams because he is 17th in rushing the ball for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So you want to see Caleb use his legs, but you also need to see him better through the air. And, Ben Johnson was asked on Wednesday about getting Colston Loveland more involved. Obviously, your first round pick, top 10 pick. You want to see him more involved in the passing game. And I know we've talked about how great he's been in the run game, particularly in this game against the Saints, and Cole Kmet potentially out this week. You don't feel as bad about it because of the way Colston Loveland has been playing in the run game. with that being said, you want to see him have more of a role when it comes to catching the football.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson was asked about that on Wednesday. And Clay, what stood out to me, obviously, this is getting a lot of play over the last 24 hours. Ben Johnson saying we got to find more completions. Is he looking at the quarterback? Is that, him kind of directing his attention at, Caleb's got to be better? Because when you're not completing the football, you don't have as many opportunities to get guys involved. Like, it's just that simple. Mm-hmm. And what I thought was so interesting about it was that Ben Johnson has not been shy to criticize his players, whether it be rookies, whether it be veterans. He is not afraid to call them out and say they need to be better here. They're good at this, but they need to work on this. He gave a glowing review of Colston Loveland yesterday. So I think you are sort of looking at the quarterback. And of course, Ben Johnson, I think always will look internally too and say, I could be better. I could draw more opportunities. But what do you think will be the key to seeing Colston Loveland more involved in the passing game? Do you see him getting open, and do you see opportunities when you watch the film for Caleb Williams to find him?
He's getting open. It's going to come down to if Caleb can find him or not. Obviously, the Ravens aren't the team of old that has a bunch of pass rushers, a team I used to play against with Terrell Suggs and Ray Lewis and all these guys, Ed Reed. They're a different type of defense now. So there should be some time, and they're not good against the pass. So you should have some holes there. So honestly, to me, it comes down to Caleb seeing it and just delivering the ball, being a point guard to your players. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to see a lot of Colston, obviously, because Cole is banged up. Even if Cole's ready to go, I think you're going to see more Colston. And since the bye week, Cole Kmet, before the bye week, was taking 90% of the tight end snaps. Yeah. And it's become a 50-50 ordeal. Even before he got hurt last game, Cole had 27 snaps. Colston had 25. They have moved it. They have shifted it to a 50-50 tight end room. They're splitting some reps at 11 personnel. They're both on the field in 12. They're both on the field in 13. So both these guys are splitting reps. They have specific plays. Colston, like Ben said, has been excellent in the block game, whether it's cutting off, backside, or front side, which most tight ends can't do. Colston's been excellent. He's exceeded every expectation. And when he does get an opportunity to run a route, I think he does a great job. Yeah. For whatever reason, it's not getting completed. I know they told this quick story on the Big Pro Football Show. People are like talking about Colston Loveland. I haven't really heard the bust thing, but since Tyler Warren's having, such a great season, the Bears picked the wrong guy. I'll just explain this. When the offense starts rolling, then players start having numbers. You can't have numbers. I don't care if Ja'Marr Chase is here. If you're not completing balls, nobody's catching balls. It has to be a full offense thing. We signed Julius Thomas in the offseason. He was coming out off of an 1,200-yard receiving year. He had 10, 12 touchdowns coming from Denver when Peyton Manning was the quarterback and they had the best offense in the NFL. He comes to Jacksonville, and all of a sudden, everybody thinks, oh, we're going to get this guy with all this production. And he comes to Jacksonville. Guess what? Your offensive coordinator's Jed Fish. Your quarterback's mixed between Blake Bortles, Chad Henne. Sorry about the Go Blue. And he ends up having 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Everybody's like, what happened to Julius Thomas? He was so good with the Denver Broncos. Do you think Julius Thomas just regressed and forgot how to play football in 1 year?
Right.
No, he was in a different system. It wasn't as efficient. He didn't get as many targets. And when he was open, his quarterback wasn't hitting him the way he was hitting him in Denver. Okay, it wasn't Peyton Manning.
Right.
So Julius was still Julius, but he was just in a different system. So when this thing starts rolling, you're going to see Colston Loveland be one of the beneficiaries of this offense rolling.
I think that's sort of the next step we want to see from Caleb Williams. Just comfort, just looking comfortable.
Yeah.
And which we did see in, we've seen in moments.
Yeah.
The 2, thriller fourth quarter drives, those are different because it's unscripted. It's go out there and make a play. Mm-hmm. You want to see that consistency from that opening drive all the way to the final drive. And we just haven't seen that yet from the quarterback. So for him to feel more comfortable in the system, I think would be a nice next step for him this weekend.
I agree. I think just more comfortable. do a better job of getting the ball out and on time and accuracy, and be better in the red zone. The Bears are 4 for 13 in the red zone their last 3 games. I think you got to be better there. What he has done well is he's done a good job against pressure, which is something that's good. But against the blitz last week, he was 7-8 for 102 yards. I thought he was really good, but you have to make these quicker decisions. There's more holes. It's sometimes quarterbacks do like that better, but now let's see you do some things instead of going 8 for 18 with no pressure, no blitz. Now you got to start producing when they're not blitzing.
Yeah. How about Ben Johnson yesterday was asked about what he's most proud of when it comes to running the football, and he said he's really proud of the run combos, the combo blocks. Went through the all starting 5 offensive line, gave a little mini progress report for each guy. My favorite was Joe Toney, stud. Joe Toney, stud. Love that. Those 5 guys, obviously Theo had an up and down day, but it seems like Ben Johnson is happy with that group at the moment. Would you agree?
Yeah. And I'm seeing the same things Ben's seeing. The combination blocks.
That's good news for us.
Yeah. Look at my Twitter. I'm just posting combo block after combo block. I love seeing it because as a tight end, we're a part of that in a lot of situations. We'd work with the O-line there. And you just get more comfortable. And you see it. These guys are physical. They want to play to the whistle. And like Ben said, they're playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. And
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, over these last 2 weeks, the Bears have averaged, per Pro Football Reference, 2.8 yards before contact per carry, the highest mark in the league over the last 2 games. So what that tells me is that's right. You're getting that push. You're getting 2.8 yards before contact. They're barely getting that total before these last couple games.
Yeah.
So that was great. They have 14 explosive runs or 10 or more yards the last 2 games, most in the NFL during that span. DeAndre Swift has 10 of them. And I love what I've been seeing from Kyle Monangai. He's a guy that runs hard, pad levels are low, good contact balance. He can run through some tackles. He's just getting more and more comfortable. And I think there's a good mixture between Swift and Monangai, right? They have different things that make them good, right? So Monangai is really good downhill. He's fast, the contact balance. Swift is a guy that can run outside. And a lot of his stuff was like speed. Off tackle. So it's not necessarily outside, but Swift, outside running game of his 124 yards, he had 102 yards. So some of that's off tackle, but a lot of that's outside of tackle too. So he's not running in between the tackles. That's more Monangai, and Swift is more of the outside guy. I like how Ben is putting his players in the best position to be successful.
Yeah.
And he even said, like, hey, this is going to take to late October or November before we start playing our best football for me to really understand, like, how these guys, what they do best. Some people think, well, shouldn't you know that in training camp? Sounds easy to say, but no. Once the bullets start flying and you're out in the game, that's when you really learn the personality of your team and a player and who they are. I've seen guys in practice. You're like, man, this guy's really good at this or that. Once it's in a real game, what happened to him? It's different. So I think Ben, obviously he said it's a little bit sloppier than he wants it to be right now. And the other thing, off topic a little bit, I know Caleb had his worst game of the season, but I will say this, that his worst game of the season this year compared to his worst game of the season last year is still a heck of a lot better. So that's something that maybe we can, hang our hat on.
Sure. They're finding ways to win.
Yeah.
When Caleb Williams is not at his best. And I think that's a testament to Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen. And, I think a lot of people felt like the Bears should have won by 30 because of the way the defense played.
Honestly.
But with that being said, you're finding ways to win. They still won relatively comfortably. And they are kind of, weathering the storm while the quarterback comes along in the offense. And Ben Johnson, I mean, it just feels like he's building something not just for the quarterback. I think when Ben Johnson was hired, some of my just concern, and maybe this is because I came from the Dolphins, Clay, where I covered the Brian Flores change into the Mike McDaniel, and Mike McDaniel fixed Tua, and it was like a miracle, and they make the playoffs, and Tua leads the league in passing. But it wasn't like he was the head coach of the entire team. So I think that was always, and now you're kind of seeing like the unraveling this season. But I think that was always sort of my concern. It's like, these offensive guru guys, like, how are they going to lead? Like, what's it going to look like? Ben Johnson is the ultimate leader. Like, he's Dan Campbell, but an offensive genius. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think that's sort of been my most pleasant surprise of the Ben Johnson experience. And obviously you're seeing the quarterback gradually get better. It doesn't always show up on the stat sheet every week, but it was refreshing to hear Caleb Williams get up in front of the microphone after the game and be like, yeah, like essentially I was not good. Like I did not win our team this game.
Yeah, and he's brought that accountability with him.
100%. And that stems from the head coach, right? Because the head coach is never afraid to point the finger at himself.
Yeah, the best throw of the week was when Ben threw the flag to midfield. I mean, that's, you know, I'm sorry, that's being a little facetious there. But
yeah, winning that probably makes the throw even better.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was hoping someone would ask him about that. Like, are you practicing your challenge throws?
Yeah, that was a pretty good throw. He threw it to midfield.
Wind up there.
Yeah.
All right, Clay. What else do you have for me?
So the Ravens defense is 30th in EPA per play allowed. So even if Lamar Jackson plays, like the offense, like offensively, I think that this offense should have a good game. Like it has nothing to do with Lamar Jackson, like offensively. Like you should have a good plan. You should be able to put points up.
Yeah.
This defense is not the Ravens defense of old. I know they got a couple guys coming back. We keep saying that. So regardless of Lamar, obviously you can have a little bit more of you can cut them some slack if Lamar's out there and he looks like he's 100% Lamar Jackson because he is the best player in the world. But without Lamar, last 2 weeks, 22 possessions, they've scored 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
So if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, there is no excuse to not win this football game if he doesn't play. And now, Ruthie, I want to know what your pick is for...
We can't do it yet.
We can't do it yet?
No. Not until we get the Friday injury report.
Okay, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If Lamar's full go,
then it changes.
If he's questionable, it changes. If he's ruled out, it changes, you know?
Yeah.
So I can't do it yet, Clay. But let me say this. Let me ask you this. If Lamar Jackson does not play, does it taint the win for the Bears? Like, are you sitting there being like, the Bears haven't beaten any good teams yet?
Yeah, that's kind of a thing, but
it's
you take the players you can play against.
Yeah, this is the National Football League. The schedule's the schedule. Your record's your record.
Your record is your record. And yes, they haven't beaten a ton of good teams.
Let me ask you this.
I had some numbers here, but continue.
If the Bears beat the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, what does that tell you about this team?
I think that tells you that it's a team that's for real. I think if they beat the Ravens with Lamar, you can't say nothing
even
about it.
Even if Lamar's, 50%.
Even if he's out there and you beat him, like you beat Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And the Bears haven't beat a team over 500 yet. A team that's not 500 right now. And I think their point differential is -1 on the season. So there still are some stats out there. It's like, you haven't beat a team with a winning record. Your point differential is -1, even though you're 4-2.
Yeah.
Some people look at that and say,
let me ask you this.
It's fraudulent. I don't agree with that, but
Can the Bears beat the Ravens with Lamar Jackson?
With a fully healthy Lamar Jackson?
No, Lamar Jackson's out there.
I think they can. Yeah, I think they got a defense with Kyler Gordon, Tremaine Edmunds, like TJ Edwards, like Sweat.
Kevin Byard, we haven't even said his name,
Yeah.
but he's playing like the way he is ripping the ball away from people is unbelievable, and tracking the ball. It's just playing at a very high level at this phase of his career.
And you got some guys that are athletic, like I'm talking about with Kyler Gordon.
Yeah,
Like there's only a few guys.
Brisker had a great game. We haven't even
Brisker.
mentioned him.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's only a few guys that you can actually count on to be able to chase down.
and Montez Sweat
Lamar.
finally showed up.
Yeah, Sweat did.
They can do it,
They can.
you know? And I think they have the right guy in charge to motivate them to say, you know, I don't know if Ben Johnson, this would be his message, but it's like, hey, no one thinks we can beat good teams.
Yeah.
Like, use that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It is. This is going to be an interesting week.
Do you have a game pick?
Well, I think mine depends on,
Okay,
what happens. So, yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're waiting. Got to watch the Big Pro Football Show on Friday
Yeah.
for our game picks.
My game picks have been right on the money.
You finally won one, Clay, up top.
Mm-hmm.
Happy for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Clay is 1-5 in his picks.
I am.
What am I? I think I'm 3-3.
I think you're 3-3, but I'm going to pick up some ground this week because I'm going opposite of whatever you guys say.
You don't get to do it like that.
I know. I'll pick who I think's going to win.
Okay. Well, Clay Harbor, that was fun. Good stuff, my friend. Edgar, you're the best. This was the Charter Podcast brought to you by St. Xavier University. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bear down.